Ah, the Starship Enterprise approaches a sun of some kind.
Oh, there's obligatory button pressing guy number 17. He's my favorite of all the button pressing guys.
He presses buttons pretty good.
Yeah. Running with full deflectors, just like I did in high school emotionally. And Wesley's beautiful.
Speaking of high
shirt.
school, Wesley Crusher, everybody.
Oh, that sweater he wears is so 90s. Just so 90s. And of course...
not really, because this is 1987, so...
That's how ahead of the time the show was, Steven.
The future.
I need button pressing guy number 30 and number 82 to my quarters. Beardless Riker kind of looks like if a baby was an adult.
Well, he has like a Jesse Ventura level cleft in his chin. You'll see it soon.
That's true. He does have, yeah.
It's not quite necessitating a separate cinematographer like Jesse Ventura's does, but it's there. There it is.
Or maybe he's just uncredited, but they do have one.
There it is. Babyface, butt chin Riker. And red shirt Geordi. Because, folks, this is the first season. That weird anomaly of the first season of Next Gen.
I loved it, though. In all seriousness, I mean, when I was a kid and I first saw Star Trek, I nearly shat myself. You're high on arsenic well water, and you see this, and it's like blowing your mind.
Captain, my console's overloading.
That's exactly how he responded when he didn't get his Christmas gift he wanted. He's like, Mom, this isn't what I asked for. We've tried pressing buttons. Nothing's happening. Now, I'm sure there's something in science that lets you know that this might be a thing that happens when you're this close to a sun, right?
Well, what's interesting you mentioned science is they just show up to study this star. It's just described as unusual. Like there's no scientific thing happening to it, like its corona is breaking down or the photosphere is disintegrating. Or
yeah, it gets along with its in-laws perfectly, always calls its wife right on time, never forgets to take out the trash. It's a really oddball star.
A perfectly normal looking yellow star, according to special effects.
Mm. We're out of Cheez-Its.
So low on Mountain Dew.
You didn't need to confirm that, Natasha. That's what the sound was. The sound lets you know it's working.
She needs something to do before she dies.
That's true. The security officer, when there's no security issues, really doesn't do much, right? Just kind of hanging out.
Well, and that's why like they really experimented with the crew dynamic and the main cast with this show. They didn't. There's no chief engineer on the first season.
But there was an engineer chef.
Well, yeah. So welcome to SNARK Trek.
Yes.
There's two really bad Star Trek shows on CBS right now, and people are feeling wistful for the good old show. So why not watch them again for the first time with two super nerds talking in your ear?
Yeah.
About them. Two dummies. No, two guys who grew up with this stuff.
Yeah. Two guys of perfectly normal intelligence or something equivalent.
Two men who are perfectly normal and fine talking about Star Trek.
We should preface it at least a little, though. We do love Star Trek.
Yes.
Next Gen, not specifically, but for me at least, That's my thing. Is some next gen.
It's my jams.
Yeah, but we're doing this out of love. We love next gen, but you pick on what you love, just like friends do, right?
Right. It's when you've seen something so many times, you start to form like a commentary track in your head anyway. And it's like anytime you watch it, you're just talking to yourself. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this is stuff I do when I just feel like watching a Star Trek episode. So I figured, why not make a show out of it?
Yeah.
So this show, a forgotten episode of the first season of Next Gen, which is a whole forgotten season, basically. No one talks about first season except for the Q stuff.
Yeah.
But this is basically the D.A.R.E episode. And for me, being a kid of the 80s, I was 7 years old when this was all first run on syndication on Channel 44 in the Bay Area.
Ooh.
Yeah, KBHK. Like D.A.R.E was very much like drugs was very much, it was a big deal. Like you had Nancy Reagan and Just Say No, and then Daryl Gates creates D.A.R.E, right? Drug Abuse Resistance Education. Super fancy acronym. So like this is I call it the D.A.R.E episode because there's literally a Tasha Yar monologue about drugs are bad.
Is that also the Rape Squad monologue, or is that a different monologue?
That's part of it.
Okay.
Like she mentions her home. Rape Squads, is it like do you see that in a different episode? When they're all hallucinating on something.
You know who Natasha Yar looks like she's missing next to her is like a really grody looking shitty cop.
I was wondering how long would it be before we get to an Arizona Heat reference?
I
you win.
I couldn't
or lose. I don't know, whichever, depending on how you see it.
I guess you could say lose because I really was trying to keep it from happening, and I mean I couldn't. Butt chin.
And so many people by this time, this is late in the first season, there were Trekkies who were like, "Man, I wish Picard would just die and Riker take over the ship by now." It was an interesting time.
Yeah.
So I'll just say. So here you got. Here's the spaced out space captain, played by Merritt Butrick, also known as David Kirk, or David Marcus Kirk, I guess.
But not David Bowie.
Not David Bowie.
Okay.
This is an episode that attempted to capitalize on, this is Trek fan service. Like, hey, this actor, and also Judson Scott from Wrath of Khan as well shows up a little bit later. And it's like, hey, look, it's two guys from real Trek adding legitimacy to new Trek. Because this is literally, it's literally the same time as New Coke. It's like New Trek. And people are like, no, this isn't Star Trek. Kind of like how now we're like Picard and Discovery aren't Star Trek.
Mm. I'm just glad that my Trek doesn't contain aspartame anymore.
Well, they finally learned to write a good story on this show. And what it lacked in aesthetics, like these ridiculous uniforms, it made up for in story and character development eventually.
It did actually, especially via Worf. I actually like how they developed Worf and his whole culture, because the Klingons were just a bunch of just kind of space assholes in the original series. So there was a lot of places for him to go, and I feel like they went the right direction.
They were the space Mongols, right? They had the Fu Manchu looking.
They didn't have the ridges yet. They had normal foreheads.
Yeah.
That's all that's wrong with his ship is a coil. This is the fucking future, and his ship is having problems because some sort of coil blew. What does it need a new alternator too?
Well, you'll find out that when you say yes to drugs, you really can't function day to day. That becomes pretty clear.
He's in a star hoopty. She doesn't believe him.
Yeah, he's explaining like, hey, I've been the captain of the ship for a decade or whatever, and I don't know how anything on board my ship works. And this is one of the faults of this episode, is they spend a lot of time just messing around with these people when they should have beamed them over 10 minutes ago.
We should probably stand farther apart. Asymmetrical uniform, asymmetrical face. Get the fuck out of here, Rudy.
I need something to do. Haven't you heard?
Now, Riker, there is a chance that you're going to come out the other side and then slowly mutate into a fly.
Like, is it wise to feel that the transporter is safe to use when the console is blue like that?
You should see how the dude in the holodeck is doing.
Yeah.
He has Lincoln beating him over the head with a fish right now. No idea how he got there.
Yeah, it's like no one was mountain climbing El Capitan in the holodeck at this very moment.
It's the blue button on the left. It says interconnect. Do you know how to link your Bluetooth?
First grader knows how to link transporters. Jeez.
I mean, come on. Wesley's going to end up traveling space-time with a, an infinite being. So why can't these people figure out how to link transporters?
Spoilers.
I think everyone already figured it out. I mean, just look at his sweater.
I remember seeing some kind of explanation that because he was an acting ensign, it has all 3 department colors on it and those stripes.
Oh, it does.
And like, that's the dumbest thing ever. That's why they switched it to the all gray jumpsuit later.
But you didn't say mark. You said on my mark. You said energize, not mark.
You got to say
in
mark.
In the military, if you say on my mark, you say mark.
What?
Angel dust.
Gotta attack the whack. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, this is like in the thick of Just Say No and the beginnings of D.A.R.E. And of course, when you're like me and you're a white kid in the suburbs, you think of drugs, you think of crack cocaine.
Oh yeah. In my part of the world growing up, it was opium.
Yes.
Because of the wild California poppies, people would cultivate them and make opium, which if you didn't know that, people, that's where opium comes from, is poppies. And that's why in some states it is illegal to pick a poppy.
Yes. And so that's why you listen to us. You learn a lot.
Yes.
About things other than Star Trek.
Yeah.
There's more to life than Star Trek. I mean, it's mostly Star Trek.
Yeah.
But there's other things.
Yeah, there's also booze.
Living in Arizona, I actually have about a dozen California golden poppies in my front yard that if I wanted to, I could just pick them all because we're not in California.
Yeah.
So I could use them for whatever I wanted to.
He can lick them too, and no one would say anything. Well, his neighbors would probably ask why he's doing it.
Could make a nice bouquet out of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have some transporter death here. See, we've been talking about other things because it's just so stretched out. This getting these people off the ship, it literally should have happened before the credits.
And we used soundproofing foam to decorate the back.
So there's Judson. That's he was Khan's right-hand man, the helmsman of the Reliant, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
Here's 2 guys who are absolutely not jonesing for something at all.
Dude, it's space salvia. It's so much better than anything you have on Earth.
Yeah, it's funny how, I know, crack for poor people, crack was a drug of choice in the 80s. For rich people, it was regular cocaine. But these guys, they act more like heroin addicts, especially when they get off, when they push off earlier or later. You finally get to see a doing drugs scene in Star Trek. But they completely deteriorate, and I don't know. Unfortunately, Merritt Butrick, we lost pretty early in his life to HIV. I don't know if that was through interpersonal relationships or perhaps sharing a little needles. But he does a pretty good job in this episode, so I'm wondering, without any judgment at all, just wonder if he drew on personal experience for how to act like going through withdrawals here.
He might have. I mean, like you said, this is starting out in the 80s, right? And that was the time. You know, a lot of shit drug world wise was really kind of hitting full bore, because that's when kind of everything. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
They're Kryptonians.
Yeah, right.
Why do they have electric powers? Actually, we're the females. The female-looking one is the male of our species.
Yeah, you assumed our gender.
Hey, remember when Riker tried to have sex with something that didn't have genitalia? Yes.
Because she kind of felt like a girl, and he's like, well, that's good enough for me.
I mean, it's got to have a hole somewhere.
if it poops, we can bang it.
Riker can fuck it.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
What was with that guy?
He's just, I'm on TV, chin up. Oh, I'm going to walk back out and then point to this lady's pad. Yes, I'm on TV.
I did it, Ma.
I'm on TV. I'm a red shirt, but it's okay because it's next gen. Red shirt's good now.
I also like how...
carrying this science fiction device.
I like how earlier you mentioned, like, this is new Trek, right? You know, it fits with the new...
For its time, yeah.
It's the new Cool Ranch Trek.
Yeah, cool, exactly. It took a while to get used to. It's an acquired taste.
But even with that...
But it earned that. It wasn't just, like, forced down your throat. It earned it. Anyway, sorry.
Well, the only thing I was going to say is, like, we have... With this even being new Trek, we had all the things that we remember from original Trek. So you had, you know, the colors... for the uniforms, you know, were still kind of accurate to what they tried to use them for in the original, as well as in the first season. You're talking about things that disappear between, or the forgotten things of the first season. There's a ton of Starfleet officers walking around in the skirted uniforms.
Yes,
which disappears in the second season pretty much entirely.
Yes, and you'll even see in some episodes you'll see male officers wearing this. They called it the scant, the skirt pant, the scant.
Yeah, it had that thing around it, right? Yeah.
So you'll even see some male just for, and again, Star Trek ahead of its time in terms of non-gender conforming stuff. Like, hey, dude, if you feel comfortable in that, you wear that to work.
Yeah.
Right? You're fine. Not if you're in security, though. If you're in engineering or sick bay, you're fine, but not security, dude. You we gotta maintain some toughness and security.
I mean, it makes sense. That's why they eventually hired Worf.
Yeah.
Like when Yar dies, you know, and Worf is applying for the head of security, they're like, what are your qualifications? I'm a Klingon. You're hired.
Yeah. And that's really what should have been the conversation in the writer's room when they were deciding to, you know, cast the main cast of the show. It's like, you want a security officer to be the main character, but you have your choice between Klingon male and tough lady with a cool backstory. And it's like they just couldn't. It's like they had two things can't occupy the same space at once. You know?
Yeah.
Tasha Yar could have worked as the navigator with the same backstory.
Well,
maybe.
I think, like, even forgetting the backstory, I think the character of Natasha Yar could have worked fine as the head of security if we at least once got to see her whoop someone's ass.
But then what does Worf do? I can't see and I know it's so racist, right? I can't see a Klingon as a navigator or science officer, but that wasn't his character. His character was, I'm a tough Klingon. I want to be tough.
Yeah.
Well, so they kind of had security is the logical.
That's the toughest thing you could do on a Starfleet
and weapons officer at the same time. You know. But the thing with Yar was Gene Roddenberry saw James Cameron's Aliens and saw Vasquez and said, I want a character like Vasquez, Corporal Vasquez. Tough, butch, Latina.
So they got Natasha Yar?
Yes. So what they're talking about here is they're talking about it like it's still product, and they're about to reveal that, no, it's medicine, which causes a minor freak out because, like, oh, are you guys sick? Are we sick? They got coronavirus. Are we sick now? Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like a lot of weak ass first season episodes, there's just a lot of talking, a lot of stretched out dialogue that is really rather unnecessary.
I like how the only difference between the races too is that one race holds a really hot spoon against their bridge of their nose for 15 seconds, and the others do it for 45.
The nose bumps are not as bad.
Yeah, like that's the 45-second
fourth planet race. Yeah,
yeah.
Good shot of the butt chin there.
They can only get so close to the cameras, by the way, because little known fact, if you get too close to Jonathan Frakes' butt chin when he doesn't have a beard, it'll actually suck in camera lenses, and then they just can't get them back, and it's just a loss of equipment.
And that's the problem with these. This was never meant to be HD. You were not meant to see. When you look at Picard's hair, you see like there's hairs out of place and stuff. Like they never would have let go had they known they would be picked up. All of a sudden, this guy's having a seizure. But anyway, I guess anyway.
Well, I mean, you're healthy, but those sandals got to go.
He's absolutely a hippie if he's wearing those sandals. Yeah.
Our medicine. I've got. What is the shit they give drug users? Methadone.
On them, yeah.
I think they got methadone on the Enterprise. They got a plant. You are.
That's the same plant that's like in the JCPenney optical waiting room.
It is.
Which is where this was filmed anyway.
As one of my YouTube idols would call it, the sad plant. The token sad plant. Oh,
I have a token sad plant in this very room right over there. Fake plant.
Oh, what happened
to
the
an heirloom? It's been in my family for 2 generations. My parents and me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's in good shape. I actually
brought this over from the old country in California.
That's all the surfboards in the back that he's ridden.
I always wondered, like, why is there just permanent DNA on the... Like, yep, that's his DNA.
Well, you got you got to understand. There's a lot of radiation exposure to everybody on the Enterprise, so they are constantly checking DNA damage.
They're like, hey, Michael Okuda, what are you going to put on the sickbay screens? I don't know, medical stuff.
Whatever looks
DNA.
like human things.
Oh, look, see, there's a plant that's fall over there. It's all red leaves.
There's a little man. I like the little man.
The line through is always like focuses on the line through his torso and the line through his ankles. Like,
well, that's the only place you get wounded.
That's like in the jail in Star Trek 6. That was not his knee. But they're definitely like heroin user waiting for their buddy to come back with the score.
Yeah.
Here, acting here.
Can't they just analyze it and then replicate a shit ton of it?
Oh, well, I think Crusher gets a look at it. It's one of those things, as you find out that it's not medicine, it's a narcotic. Spoilers. It's episode's 30 plus years old. Like they say, oh no, it only grows in this one part on our planet. Like we can't even grow it on the other planet, where we wouldn't have to even ship it back and forth. It's, again, like cocaine, which only grows in certain forests in South America and nowhere else. So there's a metaphor there. Can't plant it in Montana like you can other plants that you can smoke.
We're rich as fuck.
Have some Tranya. You can tell they're rich because their clothes are made out of reflective 80s holographic material. They just came from the tech noir.
Yeah, Dr. Evil would be proud.
Send in the drugs.
His pants must make so much noise when he moves around.
The Foley, like the on-set sound guy, is like trying to move the mic away from. It's like a mobster's tracksuit, Swish, swish, swish.
I feel like Breckians and Ferengi would get along pretty well.
Well, I'm thinking like the Ferengi are going to hit up that planet and say, oh, so how much you want to sell us? And who can we addict to this crap that'll give us tons of money for it? Like the Ferengi, like they found out like the Trill were super addicted to this shit. They'd be setting up shop on Trill. They'd drag a station as big as Deep Space Nine into orbit of Trill and be like, here's your drug station. Come get it.
That is the side of an alternator with some LEDs drilled into it.
They were pretty creative in their sourcing of the basic parts for props. This looks like Kix.
No, you know what those are?
Or Nerds.
Those are lentils. Those are seriously halved lentils.
I thought they went down to like Bath and Body Works and got the decorative soap and just chopped it up.
Boop.
Super addictive. I mean, potent. I mean, effective. And yes, every episode of the first season contained a shut up Data joke where he attempts to give more information than anyone wants to hear.
Yeah.
Running gag. Oh, fiddly dee.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
You don't even farm? So all their clothing says made in Onara on it.
Made while high.
Made by the good mountain village people of Onara 4.
No, that's what you said was incredibly bitchy and unfair.
Well, it's like parasitic, but this episode is called Symbiosis, so that's what they're going to call it as, symbiotic relationship. And this is the best scene in the show, right here. I don't mean in the episode, I mean in the whole show.
Hands down.
See how addicted he is? He knows it's going to take a certain amount of time no matter what. He still yells at him. That's a drug addict, folks.
No, that's good drugs.
And then
oh, there's Sharon. Sharon.
Yeah, right.
Space
That's also
Sharon.
bad 80s thing there. Sharon Needles. Everything is lollipops and sunshine.
So on Earth, you chase the dragon. What do you chase in space?
I don't want to meet the space dragon.
Is it like that weird space Leviathan thing that tried to have sex with the Voyager?
Didn't one try to... Well, there was the space baby that latched onto the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, in Voyager, there was a big like squid, jellyfish, Leviathan thing that they accidentally flew into like the mating ritual of all that.
Oh.
The whole episode culminated in them turning blue and barrel rolling. Oh, her dark blue suit today. She's in it to win.
What happened to your jacket? They threw up on it. What? Don't ask. It's a narcotic.
Do you think they designed something for Picard's reverse bowl cut? Because you can't put a bowl on there.
There is an episode, the episode with Ensign Rowe opens up with Picard getting a haircut, and the guy uses a little laser thing to adjust his sideburns. It's a little zzz, because it's got to be the future.
Yeah.
You got to have some futuristic thing in there.
So they all got high.
Oh, fuck it. That's your answer to everything. See, can't grow the coca plant anywhere but Colombia. What?
Well, emotionally, yeah, they would die, but physically, they'd be okay. Not interested. Because they're high.
Riker, think about how much you love cheap women. That's the drug.
Yeah, that's what you're addicted to.
Now you see.
Does she have a data pad or a Rorschach test?
I wonder if they just had like a table set up off camera where it's like, here's things you can carry. Things you can do with your hands while you're on scene.
You want sex, Picard? You agree with me.
Pretty good discussion about the Prime Directive, though, because it's like, if they did cure the addiction, that other culture would have no way of supporting itself. So they would probably immediately die or also be attacked in revenge by the people who got addicted for 200 years.
Yeah.
Because humans, you just can't meddle in things. Oh, this is great. Yeah, this guy, he's like, yeah. Hi, I'm the leader of the planet.
And I am fine. I'm
No, I'm not fine. I am so not fine. I need my medicine. I'm sick.
See,
all right, I'm sick, man.
I kind of took this like he was trying to play the guy who is like really going through withdrawals, but he's trying to play fine because, you know, he thinks the cops won't notice.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. He's like, where are my...
He's the guy who he's got his eyes closed and he touches like the tip of his forehead with his finger instead of his nose, and like, no, dude, I'm totally sober. 3 beers max.
It seems to be the oblong, professor.
Yeah. I think my impairment is judged. Oh, here, no, this is Tasha's D.A.R.E speech right here.
Data, what's puberty? She just walks up and slaps the shit out of him.
Like you expect the sitcom music that to start like on a very special episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Wesley Crusher learns the truth about narcotic addiction.
Then on the end of her speech, it zooms out.
And the look she gives she says drugs and kind of looks out camera like, man, I wish I could get high again, but I'm a big girl and a big girl job now, so can't do it.
You know, as soon as they yelled cut and wrap for the day on this, everyone went and took something.
You got to do something to work those 18-hour days.
Yeah.
Man. Especially poor Michael Doran's the only one of these people. And Michael Doran and Brent Spiner got to sit through 10 hours of makeup anyway. Wesley doesn't understand drugs.
No.
Then as soon as he gets to Starfleet Academy, he's smoking weed in his dorm room. With his roommate.
It's like a well-known
like
thing.
Every kid from the suburbs who says, I'm never gonna get high. I'm too cool for drugs. Nancy Reagan said, just say no, and I did. Can you tell what year I was born yet? Can you tell? So here he is, Mr. Coke Fiend here.
Dijon mustard?
Yeah.
I need my fix, baby.
Yeah.
I need my fix. Daddy's sick.
Crusher's just like, okay, everyone just got to throw up for 2 days, then you'll be fine. Just trust me.
3 buckets. 1 for pice, 1 for vomitus.
Yeah.
What is 1 for shite?
Find some suppositories. Russian sailors. Mikey Forrester. Renton.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That acting.
So remember
is
they
beautiful.
could do that? Remember that?
You know what's funny? My cat does the same thing if you grab the back of her neck.
Yes.
It's that exact pose. Why do they have electric powers, though?
I think they were talking about like it's because remember their sun is all weird, which is also something they never mention again because they get on this whole drug distraction thing.
So you're saying the episode was distracted by itself?
Yeah. The writers kind of got off on a tangent, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like they were going over it.
They're like, we keep writing about drugs. Yeah. I can't just. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Or it was the opposite. Like they were writing about the sun, and the drug thing was a subplot, and they brought it in the writers' meeting, and Roddenberry's like, wait, what's that about the drugs? Bring that back.
Well, at the end of sorry, spoilers again. At the end of the show, they just drop everyone off. And then Riker or Picard's just like, let's just get the hell out of here. Set any course. I keep waiting for somebody to say, like, aren't we going to check out the sun where we were here to, like, remember the sun we were going to look at? Like, they don't even want, like, they are so disgusted with these people. They don't even want to do any science. It's all morals in this episode, no science.
You know, if you flip the Enterprise upside down, you can eat cereal with it.
You know, the Enterprise is flipped upside down. The model is filmed from the underside in real life.
You are seeing me.
And I'd have eaten cereal with a spoon, a promotional plastic spoon that had
you had
the
that?
Enterprise on it.
Oh, man. So I forgot what cereal was.
Again, 80s kid.
There was a cereal that I was getting that you could send in and get one.
Yeah.
And we got 2 of 3 boxes needed. And when we got the 2 boxes, all the grocery stores around us just stopped carrying that one. So I never
don't remember having to send anything in. I just remember having one.
Yeah?
I don't know. Maybe we found it in the box.
Well, mine was probably for one of the movies, too.
So they're like, we pushed the lie long enough. They're going to start going through, recovering from withdrawal soon. Let's just give them their, like every D.A.R.E officer will tell you, every drug dealer will give you a hit for free.
Oh, yeah. That's how they get you started.
To get you started. I mean, really, you don't even need to spend any money on drugs. You just go to every other dealer. Like, oh, it's my first time. I'll just get my free sample. I asked about that once in 5th grade. I got the worst talking to. I swear. They're like, Steven, where do you come up with this stuff?
Felicium, like Felicity.
Yeah. I always thought it was like getting fleeced, that old term, getting swindled.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little play on pronunciation. Can I offer you a watch? Would you like to see some cool threads at the mall?
However, we can accidentally put you in a shuttle and accidentally shoot at it when it flies out of the docking bay.
Oops, Mr. Worf. Told you, don't be careless with those torpedoes. Yeah, gonna get paid. Yeah.
Just anyone stand farther apart. Also, look at the beautiful buffed glass on a starship. All the fucking scratches in the acrylic.
No, it's only season 1. The glass is already messed up.
Bitch, do you want a slapping?
I'm sorry, I just do security. Also, I hate drug addicts like you scum.
Wait, why do they need spare parts of the spacecraft that blew up?
Oh, well, I guess we were talking. They have 2 other ships that are broke, even more broke, because they're drug addicts and don't know how to fix their shit. And the Breckians don't know. They don't make anything either, so they don't know how to fix it for them, which is always kind of struck me as odd about, like, wouldn't they want them to have ships that work so they keep shipping the drugs over? And, like, hey, we'll fix your ship for you.
Man, I really want to see these people just like disappear in a I'm using finger quotes here, teleportation accident.
Transporter. This is Star Trek, not Rick and Morty.
Why I did that.
Okay. Aha.
Ow. Why'd you say no? Bum, bum, bum.
Wait, could you give us a lift back to our planet then? Told you, bitch. Non-interference. You can't have our tech.
Also, all that food you ate while you're here, vomit it up. We need it back.
Chop, chop. I want to see that Tranya, every ounce of it right now. And see, he's not in makeup there. Those are his the redness in his eyes. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make fun of Merritt Butrick. Gone too soon. And we got John Cho there. Young John Cho.
Chilling in the background.
His first Star Trek role. And Yar's like, what do you mean you got nothing to do? You stood in the background that whole scene. I mean, come on, Tasha. Poor Denise. They're like, they better fix those ships. I don't want to be stuck on their broke-ass planet when that shit runs out.
Who were those people? Here comes the rage.
Did we do the right thing, Beverly?
Beverly.
Yeah. They'll all have to hallucinate a baby crawling on the ceiling over them. Every single one of them.
Are those lights just representative, or are there really lights?
There's a guy back there rotating a bingo wheel, I think, or something. I don't know.
Oh, he's going to pin her up against the wall. And
yeah.
Oh, wait.
Well, he had it set to slow speed, I guess, because turbo lifts go pretty fast. I think that's why they're called turbo lifts.
Yeah.
But that was going like one deck at a time. And they were probably in one of the lower cargo bays, so.
Well, that's their, that, again, like you said, turbo lift. I mean, I think the get you there's are on the other side of the ship, right? Those are like the ensigns and all, like the dregs of the crew get to use the slow ones.
Well, right now there's an ensign in another car,
like below
them. Like, who's holding up the tube? Damn it!
I'm late for my shift.
Oh wait, the captain's having a meaningful discussion. Sorry, I didn't realize. I'll get these figures to the chief engineer later. Yeah,
I bet you Riker is the kind of guy who steps in there with somebody, farts, and gets out on the next floor.
See, like Picard's like, forget studying that star now. Like, we don't care. It could go Nova for all we care.
Wait. This is a Starfleet vessel, and they're just chill for a couple weeks? Just do whatever?
Well, it's where no one has gone before, and Geordi just said they've never been there. So,
and they all died in horrible, horrible pain.
3 days later, horrible riots consumed the planet of Onara.
Speaking of which, are you going to do that other line we set out, or can I have that one?
You can have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Because, I set up 3. I don't know why I set up 3, but...
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't bring a hooker to snort it off her ass.
Yeah.
But,
can't have. She would have gotten in the way of the commentary anyway.
Yeah.
We only have 2 mics.
Yeah, exactly. So drugs. Steven.
Yeah, drugs.
Drugs
and Star Trek. That's about it. Until we see Vapey McVapor on Star Trek Picard.
Oh, God.
40, 50 years later, however. All right. Well, bye.
Bye.